insights.
Welcome back to Morning Coffee, everybody, here on the Radio Vision Network. I am Mark Cook, and sitting to my right is the boss. Scott Tanker is in the house. This is Breakfast with the Boss, and caught us a little off guard there. We're just kind of catching up and hanging out, right?
Sometimes you don't even know that we're on.
Yeah,
we're having a good
right.
time. So, but it's all good. How are you doing today?
I'm feeling much better, thank you.
Good.
I was down earlier in the week.
Right.
You know, it always happens that you get sick when it's like the most beautiful weather, right? We had great weather, and I had this crazy sinus infection that I couldn't enjoy it at all.
Are you taking anything for it?
Yeah. I'm on
you look good.
antibiotics. I
You
feel
look
much
good.
better, thank you.
Look, this is a great show. We always have a great show on Thursdays from 9:30 to 10. We talk to people about their businesses and about their passion and how they got into it and why they do what they do. Because we want the people out there to learn more about the people of the businesses that they're bringing to the table.
Right.
And we have another special guest today. Because every day we have some pretty interesting people.
This is true.
We have another special guest today. His name is Orlando Rivera. Orlando, how you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Orlando is a business broker. And a lot of people say, well, what exactly does that mean? Well, today we're going to find out a little bit about what Orlando does, how he got into it, because he's very varied. He has a law degree, and he's been working in this field for a long time. He's incredibly able, and probably talented is a better word, in LinkedIn and all the web stuff, because he's really good at that. I've seen him speak. And he has a world of knowledge. So, Orlando, we want to start out with, from the beginning, how did you get to where you are today, and what made you do what you're doing today?
You know, I guess if you were to peg me somewhere, I'm an educator and an entrepreneur. And so education's always been an interest, and I think that's why, for example, LinkedIn seems to be the thing I get talked about most. I've done a couple talks on LinkedIn, and everyone mentions, great talk and get re-invited every time. But what I try to do is help entrepreneurs really through the process of selling the business as a business broker. And 90% of business owners don't even know what a business broker is. If I told you I was a business broker, you first ask what that is, even though it implies what we do. So we broker the sale of privately held businesses, short and sweet.
Right, now, you didn't start out that way. I know you. We've known each other for more than a few years.
Yes.
I've seen you grow. I've seen your family grow. You have wonderful 2 children now. And, but talk about how you got into this, because when I first met you, you were doing exactly the same exact thing.
No, when we first met, I think we're part of the, well, it was a different name at the time.
Right.
I was an attorney, so I was practicing law as a solo practitioner, helping small business owners in 3 major areas. Real estate law, which more specifically I was doing property tax appeals, transactional issues, landlord-tenant issues, as well as business needs and estate planning. But I transitioned over because really at heart, I've always as a young person had an interest in real estate and in business. I just couldn't help myself. So I was also a real estate licensed individual, so I moved into the real estate world, and very quickly from there I fell into commercial real estate and business transaction work with Tannenbaum.
Nice.
That's a really nice parlay, because you know, man, you obviously worked very, very hard as a young man. I mean, to have a law degree and your real estate license at the same time, I mean, this is really kind of a testament to your hard work and your drive and your dedication. So people need to understand that about you, that is a big piece of who you are and how you approach things. But what a nice parlay, right? Something you were always interested in, the real estate side of things, while you're practicing law, to kind of just move into another section of it, because you still have to protect the law and all of that stuff while being the broker on real estate. So let's talk a little bit about that dynamic.
Well, yeah, so I have a couple of licenses, right? So I have the law license, I have a real estate license, I have an accounting background, and this is all, we're talking about the last 5 years. Now in that period of time, I've gotten married, and actually in that same year, I was engaged, 4-month engagement, at the same time when I transitioned, while in the engagement, and we're getting married. I asked my wife, and she supported me 100%. So in terms of, it's interesting how you actually picked up on that, because I think in the last 5 years, I've done a couple of things in terms of concurrently, and really falling into this new profession, if you will, as a business broker and a business advisor. But even early on, by the time I was 21, I had at least 7 different backgrounds. I was an artist. My claim to fame is I got picked up by an artist at Marvel Comics, and I was going to be an inker on a new comic book title called Strikers when I was 17 years old.
Wow.
They were headquartered in New York, but they were moving to Philadelphia. That never went through, so here I am.
Wow.
But in addition to that, I was a drywall, I was a contractor, union, I was a barber, self-taught, and did the hustle, put that down. I was a EMT, licensed EMT. In fact, before graduating high school, I was accepted to an accelerator program, Montclair State, with a guaranteed seat at UMDNJ Medical School, Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine. I declined that because I interned at Lockheed Martin right out of high school at the age of 18. I went to School of Engineering at Rutgers in Brunswick, where I started the formal education. So I can bore you with more. In fact, I was a jeweler at 19. I, upsized, downsized, blocks, rings, everything else.
I love people
I mean,
that
you
do
name it,
so
I
many
did it.
different
In baseball,
things.
they call this guy a 5-tool player.
Yeah, he's a
I like
utility.
that, yes.
He's a utility infielder.
Holy
And you can
moly.
play any position. And what's cool about it is that you must have trained your body that you only sleep a couple hours a night. I mean, honestly, how do you have
Children do
time
that.
to do all this stuff?
I guess we're productive. Just efficient with time and get it done really quickly. That's the only way to do it, really.
Let's focus on the
Quick
business. I think it's fabulous to have all this talent. By the way, we all bring all this history to our latest job. Whatever you did,
That's right.
I mean, I was a paper
Right.
boy, but you
Yes.
did some things that are much more grown up than just being a paper boy, honestly. But the point is, I want to get to the point where you're a business broker, and there's people out there who are watching, and they have small businesses, or they want to be in a small business, or they're an employee of a business they might want to buy because the employer's getting older. How do you help these people go through this checklist on how you can help them get the most out of their business? Because frankly, like you said, very few people understand the value of their business, don't even know how to value it, and typically overvalue it, but oftentimes undervalue it. Yeah.
Right.
So how do you help these people? Tell the audience some of the tricks that they can learn so that they can say, you know what, I need to call Orlando now to take the next step.
My answer to that is going to probably surprise you, but the first answer to that is I deal with the emotional aspect. Believe it or not, the psychology, the mind game is everything. Yes,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, it's 80% of the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. And typically I advise a business owner, the first question comes to mind, when is the right time to sell? And my answer to that is as soon as you thought about it and you started daydreaming, right? The first time you daydream, I wonder what it'd be like if I wasn't here anymore.
Right.
That's probably a good time you should reach out and call me and have that conversation so that even if you weren't selling that day or even that year, you can prepare yourself for the exit within the next 18 to 36 months typically.
So people think, and this is so true, because I've been in so many businesses and sold them, they think that on Thursday you decide to sell, and on Monday you sell. It doesn't work like that at all.
You're not selling a can of beans.
Right.
This is not off the
It's
shelf.
It's almost like selling a house. You have to stage it. You have to have your numbers. Numbers don't lie.
Right.
The emotional part's so important. I can tell you, I've been in a family business where we sold. I've sold my own business. I've been in other businesses that were sold. It's an amazing dynamic, and it can be a fantastic experience, but it's always a nervous experience. Always.
It's tough. It's tough.
I know we're up against a break, but I kind of want to talk about in the next segment. I want to talk about how the housing market kind of affects the business market, because I have a feeling that there are a lot of really strong parallels. And I was really lucky. I just talked to a young lady from Keller Williams in the Daily Group that she was in here, David Costello. And she gave me some insight. So I want to kind of parlay that into some insight with you. So let's take a quick break.
That's a good idea. We'll be back after these messages. Please stay with us. We're with Orlando Rivera. This is www.radiovisionnetwork.com, and this is Breakfast with the Boss with my friend Mark. Be back in a minute.
Sub some sizzle. This is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Simply Gents, located in Marlton, New Jersey, takes care of all your grooming needs, including haircuts, straight razor shaves, massages, facial, manicures, pedicures, and waxing. To find more information or book an appointment, visit us online at www.simplygents.com. The secret weapon of a well-groomed man, Simply Gents.
If you haven't been to Speed Raceway, what are you waiting for? You want to live fast? You want to make every second count? Then grab the family. Round up the guys. Speed Raceway is 100,000 square feet of excitement, whether you're a kid or a kid at heart. Speed Raceway is the place for endless fun all summer long. Log on to speedraceway.com or just get here now.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to make a really great sub, this is what we do. It's what we've been doing. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do. So what are you doing? Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Today's show was brought to you by Alicia Kelly of White Horse RV Center in Williamstown, New Jersey. Alicia is your RV expert. Contact Alicia at whitehorserv.com or give her a call at 856-262-1717, extension 203. When you think of RV, think Alicia Kelly.
Today's show has been sponsored by Farmers Insurance in Voorhees, New Jersey. To protect your assets and the people you love, call Mike Skoranek, your local Farmers Insurance agent, at 856-336-2553.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Welcome back. This is Scott Tanker, host of Breakfast with the Boss with my friend Mark, and of course Orlando Rivera. We have been talking about businesses.
I'm sorry, Scott. It sounds like we're under attack here. We are not. They are doing some construction outside of the studio, so if you're hearing some noise bleed in here, it's the jackhammer that is breaking out the concrete right outside of this window, right over here. I was hearing it a few minutes ago, and I was like, what is going on? Well, I peeked out, and they're breaking up the concrete there for some reason. So
great timing.
We apologize for that, but I had no control over it. If I knew that that's what was going to happen, I would have gone out there, and because I look so official, they would have listened to me when I told them to stop.
I thought it was Woody Woodpecker. I didn't know.
You would ask me.
But we're gonna rise above this like we do everything else.
That's right.
So listen, we're talking about the emotional side of business selling and business buying, but we're going to talk about selling first.
Okay.
Because selling is probably the most emotional thing you can do when you've worked in your business 20, 30 years, more or less. You've put your heart and your soul in it. You've been there longer than you've been with your business, longer than your wife. You've been the ups and downs, and now you have to value it and sell it. And you have to sell yourself as the owner of a company. It's such a dynamic environment. How do you help people do that?
What is interesting, you even said it even now, right? So you've been through this before.
I've been through this 3 or 4 times in different ways.
And you've even hinted at it. It just popped up. You just said, you have to sell yourself.
Yeah.
And the reality is you're not selling yourself, right? You're selling the opportunity of future income in this business investment. You're not selling you. There's an aspect of you that's important, of course, in terms of whether the buyer believes you, are you trustworthy, did you run a scam here, are you trying to dump this on me, right? So the buyer has some fears. But other than that, getting past that rapport, that trustworthiness, if you will, that reflects on the business, other than that, it really has nothing to do with you. And that's really reflective of, again, the feeling that you have.
Well, because when you're emotionally involved in something, you can't look at it objectively.
Right.
And especially if you're,
it's hard
let's just say you're an attorney that brings in the business. You make the rain. Well,
you know, okay, you go every day 24/7
yeah.
thinking about the business. You can't not think about the business anymore.
Right.
Not only that, when you're out there introducing yourself, whether you're at family events, business events, who
there.
are you, what do you do, it comes up, this is who you are. It's your role, it's your identity. So it's really hard to even think about a future that's not this. Even if you're excited by something, it's still hard.
Oh, yeah, I mean, and that's a kind of an amazing dynamic that you just talked about that I didn't really even think about, because so much of sales is selling yourself. I mean, that is part of the sales dynamic in America of capitalism. That's just kind of how it goes. But you're not buying anything about that person. You're buying the potential revenue that business can stream for X amount of years and project it out, right?
That's right.
It's got to be so difficult for these guys to remove themselves from the situation. And is that what you spend most of your time doing? Holding hands, calming down. It's going to be all right, Scott. You're going to make so much money. You're going to make so much money that it's going to be okay.
That's right. I mean, it really is.
Yeah. In a lot of ways.
Yeah, well, you know, I wouldn't belittle my clients, right, and saying I'm holding hands, right? But to some degree, that happens. You know, I got a call late at night on a weekend. You know, my client's really upset about something. He's like, I want this done. I want out. This is taking too long. And so the other aspect, once we're in the game, we're trying to sell the business, we're marketing it, we're dealing with potential buyers, we're trying to deal and navigate the financing of the business, we're trying to navigate transfers of permits, licensing, everything else. There's a lot of rigmarole that we have to go through and a lot of hoops. So it's slow. Okay, painfully
it's
slow.
Slow process.
So I have to manage expectation on both ends, and that's also a very tricky thing. So as a deal, so in that phase, I'm a deal maker, I'm a negotiator.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm negotiating again those
And
expectations.
Yeah.
The numbers are the numbers. I can't make anything up, right? So I can't sell anything,
Right.
but I can expose the opportunities for both sides so that they can see what they're looking for, and if they found it and I help them find it, then they're the ones pushing me.
So tell the audience a couple things. Number one, we haven't told them how to get a hold of you. So I want you to let them know how to get a hold of you, number one. But number two, what are some things that someone can do to begin the process in their own mind? To create a piece of paper, a pro and a con. I'm sure there's some tips you can give them where I'm sitting at my desk saying, I'm beginning to think about this. Someone give me some direction as to how to work even in my mind through this. What would you tell the audience, and also tell them, looking in the camera there, to how to get a hold of you?
Well, well, that's two questions. So I got to cover there. It's going to be a mouthful in this answer. Well, I guess the first way to get a hold of me is just by looking me up on Google, Orlando M. Rivera. And so I like to connect and build a relationship. Websites and all these other things are nice, email. But if you find me on LinkedIn, in fact, I think it's a great way. Yeah, find me on LinkedIn, connect with me, and we'll get the conversation started. So that's the
that's the first question. The second one.
I forgot the second one. What was the
second one? How can you? What's the basic thing you can help somebody who's thinking about buying? Forget about selling. Thinking about selling. Forget about buying for a minute.
Sure. So the short answer on that is, if you're thinking about selling the business, I think you should get your books in order. Okay, get your house cleaned up. So talk to your accountant, talk to a bookkeeper. Yeah. Just do that. So that's something you could do on your own. But the rest of it, honestly, again, there's a lot. It's very deep, and there's a lot to go over. And so there's, a myriad of factors, and each of those factors, I may take you in a different direction you didn't think to go. So if you think I need to start reporting more on my tax return, that might not be the answer.
Right.
So, and I'm not suggesting that anyone not pay taxes, but
right.
This happens.
Right. We got to evaluate it case by case and go over each item to make sure that you're making the right decisions.
We're preparing you properly for a higher value.
Is there a general format that people should think about? Like, okay, I'll play act. I'm thinking about selling my business, Mr. Rivera, and what are some of the things I should do? I mean, I'm thinking about everything. My mind's running in different directions. Help me focus. And I know the first thing you want me to do is make sure my accounting work is good.
Sure.
Make sure my pro forma looks good.
Sure.
And my EBITDA, which is your before taxes.
Right. So the EBITDA is a term.
It's a term for an accounting term. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all numbers. And that's just say I don't do that. My accountant does that. But I'm the emotional guy. I've got 50 employees. I've been doing it for 30 years. I feel like it's my family. And now I've got to deal. I'm just getting upset even talking about it. It's true.
Those butterflies coming back. Those little
Yeah, it's a very emotional thing.
My first question is why. Right. So why are you looking to sell? And if I think there's, by the way, I can't take every person who's looking to sell.
Doesn't always work. Right.
I'll take businesses as small as valued at. If I think it's the smallest valuation that we sold was around $60,000.
Yeah,
somewhere
that's pretty small.
$40,000 for an asset, just pure asset, not even income of the business plus the lease. We're buying keys for the location, right? So I am in no way trying to cherry pick and get the top dollar. I'm trying to serve every single entrepreneur because I have a heart and a passion for entrepreneurs. Considering what we go through, it's like brothers in arms in battle, right? This is a very unique group of individuals. Cool. So I really care, and I'll serve anyone. Yeah. But if I don't feel like there's a real commitment there, or they're just trying to scout, or they're trying to use my time, then I need to know why. Yeah. Buyers need to know why too. Right. So that's very important. And also, it's what brings us through the deal. So it brings us through all the ups and downs.
That's the end game.
Yes.
Because if you keep focused on the end game, the little stuff in between won't get you too crazy. We have to go. We have another set of messages. We're going to take a break. Yeah. We're here with Orlando Rivera, who is a business broker, but more importantly, he's even more than that. He's a psychologist, and he's a lawyer, and he's going to help you whether you want to buy or sell your business. Stay with us. We'll be back in a minute, and here we are at Breakfast with the Boss.
Saving your business money is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Tanker Consulting Services, a payment solutions expert, will show you how with a free, detailed, written analysis illustrating your cost savings. We usually uncover savings between 10 and 25%, and sometimes more. We can help your business succeed by providing reliable and secure merchant payment solutions such as merchant services programs, point-of-sale systems, and ATM machines. TCS, one of the leaders in regional credit card processing consulting, offers electronic payments to merchants locally and nationwide through our preferred vendor programs. We work to keep business costs down with a comprehensive suite of quality products, services, and customized credit card processing programs exclusively tailored for your company. TCS is convenient, reliable, and innovative, with customer service available 24/7, 365 days a year. Our in-depth industry knowledge, partnership strategy, and innovative processing solutions allow for a specialized approach to providing merchant bank processing with 100% full fee disclosure. TCS is one-stop shopping for all your merchant services solutions. Our clients save money 100% of the time. Trust Tanker Consulting Services, the knowledgeable, professional, and friendly provider of secure payment services. We set the standard by which others are measured. Call now for a free written analysis. 609-922-0201.
We're back.
Here we are.
Mark Coe, Scott Tanker, Orlando Rivera. He's a business broker. I don't know why you do that to you.
I don't know why. Mark Coe.
I forget your K.
Because I'm your co-host?
You're so okay, and I forget your K.
I'm so okay. Man, you are so average. That is great.
We are here with a very interesting guy. Orlando, we've been talking about business brokers, buying and selling, the emotional part. And offline, we were talking a little bit about some of the connectivity that you thought the economy connects to all this, and housing and
yeah, I mean, because look, we're in a really strong housing market right now, and I was really lucky. I just got to talk to a real estate professional from Keller Williams in the Daily Group here in Philadelphia, and she was talking about how because the market is so strong and people have been in their homes for a long time, 25, 30, 35 years, they don't realize how much their home is actually worth now, and that it's worth so much more money than they really believe, just because they're not in tune with that stuff, because they weren't in the market to sell before. They weren't thinking about that. Then they do, and they're like, oh my gosh, my home is worth so much more money than I thought. Are we seeing the same thing happening on the business side? Because once that catches up, because the housing market moves first, right?
Right.
Then the commercial market moves up with it.
Lags a little behind. That's
right. So are we seeing that kind of happening now, where the commercial market is starting to improve?
Well, I think for small business owners, a better indicator might be GDP. It might be a number of other things. It might be lending. Okay, so what are the interest rates? What are the underwriting requirements? Are banks and other typical lenders releasing the funds to kind of put the
and this is a good scenario for this, right? Because on the housing side, the mortgage rates are the lowest they've ever been.
Sure. However,
I knew there was a big however, yeah.
So it's unique to the business, right? So every industry is different. Right now, if you're in hospitality, it's going to be hard to find financing. If you're a restaurant guy, you're a hotel, motel, you're in bars and grills, it's going to be hard to find financing. Banks, generally, the big banks don't want to lend to that.
Right.
So it really depends on where you are. If you're manufacturing, it's great. You may find yourself a nice little nest egg that you didn't realize,
Okay.
Now,
it's interesting.
One of the most important things that you do for your clients is to help them value their business. Either you do it for them, you do it with them, you do it with their advisors. But valuing a business is very difficult, and there's no way someone who owns a business should value it themselves, because there's just too much emotion and too much non-objectivity. And that's a real important thing that you do.
That's a great point, yes. So that's the advisory side. So on the advisory side, for a fee. So, the brokerage stuff is all success-based, right? Commission.
Right.
Advisory
if you
side.
sell, you win.
That's right. We both win. We're all on the same side.
If you want to consult with me, hire me to tell you what your business is worth, then that's a different story.
That's actually a very popular one, right?
Yeah.
So we can do broker opinions, and we can do certified valuations. And the purpose of those would fit in anything from putting together a buy-sell agreement in a partnership, so you're doing some estate planning work or what have you, putting some financing in place like life insurance and such, or it could be getting married, a prenup that came up, so the client calls me up and says, "Can I get a valuation here for that purposes?"
Right.
Or everything to literally the divorce and a legal issue with the estate with the IRS, and now we need something that's court worthy that can hold up in court.
Right.
So we
I'm
can
sorry.
do that.
I didn't mean to laugh.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just thought to myself, okay, the prenup, where you probably responded with, well, it's probably not going to work anyway, pal. You better make sure that you're covered. All your bases are covered. If this is what we're talking
You got a
about
50%
now.
chance.
Yeah,
of
I'm just kidding though. You know, it's what popped in my head. That's all.
Does it feel good to you when you really help someone get from point A to point B?
It really does. I've gotten a picture from one client, moved out of state in Jersey, is in North Carolina,
Retired
and took a
and happy.
picture out of his back of his house, looking at the dock on Lakeside
That's awesome.
property, and it was just beautiful. And I really almost teared up. But
That's awesome.
and then it's even nicer when you have that relationship where they're so happy with you that, of course, my business is on referral. It really is on purely referral.
Right.
But when I get the invite and say, whenever you're in the area, please stop in. You have a place to stay.
That's cool.
That's even better.
Yeah. That's
Tell
really
the audience how to get a hold of you by phone too, because not everybody goes on the internet.
Listen, I'm open. So you can call me at my office, which is 856-238-1295, or you can call me my cell. It's 609-790-9237.
What's really fantastic about you, and I do know a little bit about business brokers, not a lot, but they don't have the depth,
No
the
way.
talent you have.
No way.
Now, I'm not saying they're bad people or
Yeah.
that they're not, they don't have the ability to do things, but when you have someone like you who has the depth, the talent
Well,
to look at all
honestly,
these different things.
let's break it down real quick, because normally a broker, a business broker, is a real estate person that just decided to do something different.
That tends to be the case.
That's
That tends
really
to-
that's
yes.
really all
Right.
that happens.
Right.
And Orlando is a guy that has so much knowledge in so many different
Background,
areas, and he's a nice person and he's easy to talk to. There's no reason why, if you are even considering buying, selling, or evaluating your business, you need to get in touch with Orlando
Right.
as soon as possible.
Now, when you want to
You're
buy a
welcome.
business, that's different than selling.
Right.
But he'll help you understand what's out there, the
Yeah.
market, what you should be considering to buy. A lot of people say, "No, I got extra cash. I want to get into the franchise business." We should
Right.
all be so lucky. But
Yeah, right?
But really, they're throwing money away unless they do it with some sort of mentality that they have a purpose and a focus, and you help them, advise them every step of the way.
Absolutely. So the buyers, of course, are afraid, and a lot of them. I'll give you another stat. 90% of buyers have never owned a business.
Right.
They're getting in the market because they have that
They think it's
entrepreneurial
cool.
spirit.
Right.
It's more than cool. Right?
Well, you know,
They want to make money.
but they feel like I want to
Can't
feel
eat
my
on
own.
cool.
It's cool. I
Can't pay the
met-
bills on cool.
Cool covers everything. I met a woman yesterday. She was
I've tried. It doesn't work.
met a woman yesterday. She was a lawyer. She was a lawyer and what do you call it? A prosecutor, and she ended up buying a local kennel. She loved dogs.
Good point.
And
Yes.
she bought a local kennel with 3 other people, and she said, "I can't believe my life has changed. I work harder now than I did when I was a lawyer, but I've never been happier."
Yeah, one of my, I don't want to say best buyers, they're all great, but I think most popular, I deal with attorneys, I deal with doctors, I deal with corporate individuals, and the reason I do that is they tend to be the most popular buyers and the best buyers because there's a number of factors. One, they're looking to supplement the income. Maybe they're thinking that there's a phase in their life that's ending. Maybe they think they're ready to retire, semi-retire, whatever it may be. They're looking for that other income. So they can do this part-time, they can do it full-time. It's more like, oh, I just wanted to do this. I wanted to have that dock or that boat. I wanted to do boat tours, whatever. I mean, whatever you can think of, we have it.
Right.
I do franchise businesses or independently owned businesses, mom and pop shops, the bigger businesses.
Yeah. So honestly, just look. I know that not everybody uses the internet, but the best and the easiest way to get in touch with Orlando is through LinkedIn. The guy is like a LinkedIn master, and all you have to do is type Orlando M. Rivera into the little box
You'll
there at
find
the
me.
top. It's going to come right up because you're so active, and you have videos up there. You have when you're going to be speaking, you do talks and stuff, presentations. I mean, it's really LinkedIn. I think is really a good way to get in touch with you too.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. That's
Yeah.
it. Simple as that.
Yes,
Just keep it
please go to
simple.
LinkedIn and get in touch with us.
And who doesn't Google? I mean, you see
Right.
commercials today, right? It's like, you have a question, Google it.
Right.
So just Google it.
Yeah.
Bing it, Yahoo doesn't really matter. You're going to find it.
You'll find
Yeah.
it.
It's-
Orlando, it's been
yeah.
such great having you on here today. I think people who are in business need to have conversations with Orlando.
Absolutely.
Even just to have a conversation, he will help you understand where you are, where you could be.
Perspective.
If you're looking,
He's going to give you the right perspective
exactly
that you
right.
need. And honestly, even if it's just kind of entered your mind a little bit, right? I mean, isn't it like the thing, like once that bug gets in your mind, if you've even had it as a fleeting, passing thought, call now
You
because
seriously do. And listen,
Yeah.
I work confidentially. I don't expose the information about the business. Nothing that's shared privately is ever exposed publicly. So it's confidential conversations. It's really easy, no obligation, there's
No pressure.
no stress, no
Right.
pressure.
Yeah,
It's
you don't
just-
have to worry about somebody finding out
No.
that they called about selling their business.
I remember that
right?
when
Yeah.
my dad sold his business, he was very concerned about the world finding out before.
Right, before he was
because
ready
that's
for the
not
world
cool.
to find out.
That's a
Right,
big
right,
concern.
right.
That's a big concern. And secondly, I offer a lot more services than anyone else. So
Right.
I
With
offer
one
the
package.
advisory services. Right. I do the valuations. In fact, I even do the estate planning with you. So if you're thinking about there's any health issues, I've had clients come up to me and say, I need your business cards. I need to give it to my wife, to my kids who work in the business because I'm having surgery tomorrow. That's not the best time to have this conversation, right?
Right.
So we should really have the conversation maybe
A week or two
at
earlier.
least a week or two earlier. That would be nice. And
Yeah.
so because of my estate planning background in the law side and the business valuation side, right, and the business sales side, we can develop a continuity plan. And what basically it's like an add-on to that estate plan with your estate attorney, your financial advisor, your accountant, and now we can have a plan where if something did happen drastic here, we can keep the business going. It'll continue to operate, and then we can sell it or exit it through internally, externally, whatever the plan may be. I can help execute on that too. So that's a big lifesaver for the family. And if you think this is your life, this is your nest egg, this is your thing that you're going to
It's what
retire
you
on,
built.
Yeah.
then you probably should prepare a little better. And this is a whole, big hole
Yeah.
that no one's thinking about.
Folks out there,
No one's
if
offering-
you
no
have
one else
a
is offering
business,
this, by the
if
way.
you're thinking about having a
Check 'em out.
business, you need to speak to Orlando. He has a wealth of knowledge in so many different areas. Please give him a call. Orlando, it's been a pleasure seeing you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you
Please
for
come
having me
back
again. Yes, I
Love
would
to have
love
you.
to.
This is great.
Mark,
Thank you.
another great show.
As always.
As always.
It's what we do.
It was a beautiful day here in Delaware Valley. Magnificent weather, 75 degrees plus. We wish you were here. We hope you're with us each and every Thursday on Breakfast with the Boss at RadioVisionNetwork.com. Please stay with us each and every Thursday. We'll be here next Thursday. Have a great day. Have a great week. And enjoy the beginning of the World Series, which starts next Tuesday night. Take care.